everyone, welcome to Main Street and Mickey. And this week we're celebrating not only the 30th anniversary of Hollywood Studios, but also Star Wars week, because it's almost May 4th, so we've got to get you all prepared so that you can celebrate the best way, the Disney way. So I cannot even begin to express how much we love Hollywood Studios here at Main Street and Mickey. Especially me. It is just my favorite park. I love it. It's probably the park I miss the most next to Magic Kingdom. But I love Hollywood Studios. It is my home away from home. And it just, everything about it. The vintage, the color, the vintage, the music, everything is just so, I love it so much. I have so many good memories from Hollywood Studios. So this week, we're going to share with you our favorite things about Hollywood Studios. Number one is definitely the atmosphere. And the atmosphere itself just, it goes with the buildings, the way that they look like the old deco art from the 20s and the 30s, and then the cast members' costumes, how those are incorporated into it, and how Disney does that, and the way it just all goes together, and it just encompasses you and makes you feel like you're in a different world, a different era. And then the music, oh my goodness, the music. I love just walking around and listening to it. I would love during my cast member days, and the end of the day, you didn't know this, at the end of the day at Hollywood Studios, I think they still do this, they play A Star is Born from Hercules, and it is so fun. I absolutely love hearing that at the end of the day. It's like, a star is born, shout it from the mountaintop, a star is born. I absolutely love that. I think it's so appropriate for Hollywood Studios, even with the new way they have it, to where it's not where you're behind the scenes of the movie, but you're in the movie itself. It's still A Star is Born. So I love the music. I remember that was one of the things I absolutely got me through some of my work days there, was the music. It just made me want to dance all the time, and so I would be working in the Christmas shop back in the back of Hollywood Studios near Muppets, and there'd be no one in there. It'd be late at night, but I couldn't close up yet, so I'm just listening to music and I'm just dancing, doing my own show choir moves because it went with the music. And people would just like kind of stroll by and be like, okay, she's having fun. And I was, because it was just, oh, I loved it. One of our other favorite things about Hollywood Studios, the street characters. The street characters are so fun, and I hate that they are slowly phasing them out. It's really sad to me because I love them. They're kind of like the ones from Magic Kingdom, but they're quirky and they're funny, and the policeman is almost always the same person, and he's so good, and I love how much they get into their characters, and they are some really good entertainment, really good entertainers, and I really wish Disney would keep them and add to them and not take away from them. Next thing I love about Hollywood Studios are all of the little hidden photo opportunities. You may not realize it, but there are so many little hidden places that make such good Instagram-worthy spots. There are the trunks, like the suitcases, down the street, down Sunset Boulevard. That's really cute. Such a cute little photo op. Anything around Tower of Terror, that whole Tower of Terror courtyard area is beautiful. Then you have, of course, over in near the Christmas shop, you have that little Christmassy, wintry scene area. Now you have Toy Story Land area. There are just so many cute little hidden photo opportunities you may not even realize. Sci-Fi Diner has a car right outside, and you can get a picture in it. There's also just Commissary Lane, I think is really cool and could be a very great photo opportunity. You have the Chinese Theater and all of the stars walk a Hall of Fame thing, and there's just so many good photo opportunities that I think really make the park for me, and when I'm there I always try to find new ones and try to find ways to incorporate them into our feed on Instagram and just into all my memories, because one of my favorite pictures that I have is of the Earful Tower, when they used to have the Earful Tower, and I loved that. So there's some really great photo opportunities at Hollywood Studios. Of course, there's all the Star Wars stuff. We're gonna do a whole separate video on this, but there's so much Star Wars stuff, even more coming with Galaxy's Edge, and I love all the Star Wars stuff. It's so much fun. Toy Story Land, love Toy Story Land. I was so excited when they decided to build this. I wasn't really sure how I would like it and how it would affect Hollywood Studios as a whole, but it hasn't changed too much for me, like the front of the park. It just really added to it, and it added just really what Hollywood Studios needed, just that it added kid rides, it added just a fun atmosphere, and of course Pixar's so big into films, so it really meshes well. And I just love everything about Toy Story Land, how it feels like you're becoming a toy. Slinky Dog Dash is amazing. The only thing bad about Toy Story Land are the crowds, but I believe like once Galaxy's Edge opens and all of that, I think that will really help. I hope. I just love, and the food, like Woody's Lunchbox is amazing, great food there, and there's just it was such a good decision on Disney's part to add Toy Story Land to Hollywood Studios. Of course, we have, this isn't there anymore, but it was one of my favorite parts of Hollywood Studios, the Animation Courtyard, which is where Launch Bay is currently. An Animation Courtyard, you could go in, you could see different old artworks. There was one that I loved. It was the different stages of them making Tinkerbell, and so it showed like the first drawing and the second, just like the progression to what we see today. So that, I loved that. I remember when I had a little disposable camera and I was like, oh, I want to take a picture of this, and Mom was like, oh, you won't be able to get it because of the glare, but I tried and it actually turned out, so I'm really happy with that. I need to get that developed. I loved Animation Courtyard. You could go in and you could try to like make the sounds that went along with the animation going on the screen. So they had little booths that you could go into and like play around with sound, with color. It was just really cool. And you know that there were actually Disney movies made in Hollywood Studios? Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, and Brother Bear. That's so cool. Like one of my favorite movies, Mulan, was made in my favorite park. I love that. I just love that they utilized it for actual animation. How cool is that? Like, no other park did that. That was just so cool. And I miss Animation Courtyard so much. There used to be a Fantasmic Sorcerer Mickey with a big like wave behind him, and it looked so neat. And they had great Disney art. Oh, I miss the Disney art they used to have there. I feel like I know there's Wonderground Gallery, and in like Disneyland, and then we have a little bit of art stuff here in Disney World, in Disney Springs, but there's not that presence that there used to be, except like during the Festival of the Arts. And yet there's so many good Disney artists that I feel like they need to be, I just feel we need more art stores, and I feel like they're getting rid of them, and I hate that. So that's one thing I really miss and that I loved about Hollywood Studios. It was Animation Courtyard. And then of course in that same little area was, and still is, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, that fun little show. It's just a short summary of The Little Mermaid with the songs and the actors and, you know, the blacklight stuff, and it's really cute. And they had the cutest little store outside of it. And the store is still there, but it doesn't have the cute little things it used to. It used to be all Ariel, like they had Flounder, they had Ariel costumes and jewelry, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite places to go to as a little girl. And I really miss it now. I think it's just, I don't even know what they sell there. But that whole area used to be my favorite area. I still love it because of Launch Bay, Star Wars, like I said earlier, but there was just something about Animation Courtyard that was just so cool. It was that stuff that you never really get to see because it's all like the behind the scenes stuff, and I loved it because it was also hands-on. You could learn to draw from Disney animators, and I really miss it. Another thing I love about Hollywood Studios that is thankfully still there is Sci-Fi Diner. Where else can you go where you get to sit in a car, watch old like films, and eat really good food. I love Sci-Fi Diner. The atmosphere is just a one-of-a-kind experience that you won't get anywhere else. And I remember, like, as a kid, you wanted to sit in the car, you got a little driver's license, and it was just so fun. And it's still one of my favorite places. I think they still have really good food. I know they've like switched chefs, I believe, but I just love, Mom, Annie, and I, all three of us, we love Sci-Fi Diner. And I definitely need to eat there again. I haven't eaten there in forever, so definitely on my list to go back to because I just love it so much. Then of course, I can't talk about Hollywood Studios without talking about the Chinese Theater. Chinese Theater used to house the Great Movie Ride. It's no longer there. Mwah. Hollywood Studios. Great Movie Ride. I miss you. I miss it so much. we all three loved the Great Movie Ride. Just the way we love old movies, and so for us that was just a fun thing to do at Disney, and it was different. It kind of broke up the it still was Disney, but it was just a different aspect of Disney. It was that film, it was that vintage, and it incorporated other movies that weren't necessarily Disney, but you thought like that you just learned it was a good history lesson, if nothing else. And I just loved it so much, and I miss it. I feel like they did need to update it a lot because there were so many classic movies that had come out since they created it that they needed to add some in there. So I hate that they got rid of it. I am looking forward to Mickey and Minnie's Railway Adventure, but I do feel like they could have kept the Great Movie Ride, they just needed to update it. Either way, Chinese Theater is so amazing just to see when you come into the park. It's again, I'm probably never gonna go to California and see the actual Chinese Theater, so this is really cool that I can see the Chinese Theater whenever I go to Hollywood Studios. And again, it's that just transportation into the movie realm and Hollywood and just the classicness. And I believe Hollywood Studios still has that, not as much as it used to, but it just still holds that just classic Disney feeling, that Disney essence. And I hope it never loses it. And it worries me a little bit with Galaxy's Edge opening and Toy Story Land, but I hope that they keep that classic Disney essence through the shops and the stores and the music before you get into the park, like fully into the park, into the different lands. So those are our favorite things about Hollywood Studios. I still can't believe it's the 30th anniversary. It's crazy. And it's crazy also because Annie is 30, just turned 30. So Hollywood Studios, Annie is just as old as Hollywood Studios. It's kind of funny. She was born actually before Hollywood Studios opened. She was born on April 17th and Hollywood Studios opened in May. So it's kind of cool. I was there for the 27th anniversary and I got to work that day, and that was really cool. I got to work in Hollywood Studios on his birthday, so that was really fun. And I hate that I can't be there this year for the 30th anniversary, so it really makes me sad. I would love to be there for one of the big Hollywood Studios birthdays. I remember watching the 25th anniversary live on Disney Parks blog, and I'm definitely going to be watching it live this year for the 30th. And there's just this park is just one of a kind for me, and it holds so many memories of when I worked there as a cast member and when I've been there as a guest, and it's been through a lot too. It has seen so many changes. It lost an entire, it basically got half of its arm cut off, and it lost a bunch, but it's also gained it back in form of Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge. But it's just a park that has gone through a lot of change, and I don't even know if we can really imagine the change that Galaxy's Edge is going to bring to it. So it's going to be really interesting to see the next 30 years of Hollywood Studios. But this is just the fun start of the Hollywood Studios Celebration Week. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, we have a lot more like it. We have a lot of fun talking about Disney park stuff, Disney recipes, anything to help you find the magic in ordinary days. Whether you're in the parks, close to the parks, or like us, far away from home and dreaming of Disney. So we hope that you'll subscribe to this channel, like this video, and make sure you share it. And if you hit that bell button right there, then you'll know when we post our videos. We try to go live every Monday with fun Disney news, Disney brackets, and just Disney. And of course we throw Star Wars in there because we love Star Wars. So we hope that you enjoyed this. We hope you come back, and above all, we hope you have a magical day. Bye now.